then so that's all the credit card information and Apple Pay,
Okay.
which I thought was fairly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved on to the App Store, and most notably, they are talking about how, or one of the an interesting point is that games happen to be the most popular category on the App Store, which is no brainer.
Yeah.
But what most people probably don't realize is that the iOS is the most popular gaming platform.
Apple is.
Yes, because more people have an Apple phone than any other gaming console
Fair enough. Yeah.
individually, right? Like, um, and they own, like, I think that last time I checked, they were like 35% of the phone market share. So like, it's huge. I don't know necessarily how it compares to Android, but the phone markets by far have the most gamers on it. Like, it depends on your definition of gamers. Some people will say that Candy Crush isn't a gamer, but
It is a game.
it's a game, and more people are playing games on phones than anywhere else. That's basically
Aren't millions of people on Candy Crush alone?
yeah. It's like they've had millions of downloads. I'm pretty sure we could actually look up how many downloads that they had through the App Store. But one problem is that the free games are doing phenomenally, but the paid for games are not. And some of these games are very much games that are on par with almost computer games. What is it? 500 million downloads.
Plus.
Yeah, plus downloads on the Google App Store.
For Candy Crush, yeah.
And
A lot of gamers.
yeah.
Even if that's not a gamer to you.
And they have oh yeah, but the games that are purchased up front are the ones that are doing poorly. And some of them are like really good. Like there's the game XCOM I showed you on the
strategy game that's like
they have a
turn-based.
mobile version too. It's a paid for mobile version and things. And there's a lot of indie games on there that are paid for up front. I think like Terraria, and you'll find a bunch of them, but they're not selling well.
Freeze.
Threes was another one that was popular a while back.
Okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean that you think that developers are going to start making their games free up front, but then either charging in-game more?
So there was
adding?
So what Apple did, and I think this is a kind of a clever way to go about it, is because the culture of the phone game is not like the culture of a PlayStation 4 or computer game, right? PlayStation 4 on a computer, you're like, it doesn't matter how low budget the game is. There's a certain threshold. You'll pretty much buy the game, even if it's a $5 game. But that same $5 game, if you see it on your phone, you won't buy it. So what Apple did is they created what is it called? The game, the Apple Arcade, and this is a subscription service where you pay. They haven't announced how much you pay, but let's say $10 a month, and you get access to all these paid for games for $10 a month.
I see.
And then you can just download them, play them as much as you want, and
I don't think I personally would go that route, but sure.
I think it'll
for some people, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll end up making these games more utilized. Because people are gonna be they're paying for the subscription, but they feel that they're getting more out of it because they get access to tons of games per month for the price of maybe one of them for a month, or however the subscription is. I doubt the subscription is going to be more than like $10 a month.
No.
But they really haven't announced it, and so like at the price of maybe one of the games per month, I could see a lot of people.
Yeah, especially if it was like
into
$5 a month.
And it's going to have its own separate category in
Depending.
the App Store, so that you'll have your games category, but then you'll have your Apple Arcade category. So it'll separate them out and give them a good distinction. And hopefully a lot of indie developers, because there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon. They've announced like this whole list of games that are going to be like at launch.
Okay.
And they all look like good games, like quality games. And that also is going to be curated through Apple, so you won't have the same problem that Steam has, where you're just going to get junk games.
Will the games change over time though?
Yes, they'll constantly add to
and take away.
I don't know if they're going to be taken away.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not exactly the same as how like Netflix works and things. When it comes to these gaming platforms, usually the whole idea for the game is to get on the platform and get on as many platforms as possible. And they don't really have this licensing structure like TV does or movies do, where they will sell it for a few years on one platform get it.
I've got.
And then they also said that with the arcade system, you'll get cross-platform streaming or gaming, so that you can play on your phone, computer, Apple TV, however, and then you can switch between them seamlessly, is what they suggested.
Hey, any improvement on communicating with other non-Apple products?
No, like, this is really within the Apple ecosystem.
Yep.
They did. Oh, there's one thing I'll say is, well, in the future, or this is actually for the Apple TV, but we'll get to that. But yeah, for the most part, it's a walled garden still. It's if you have Apple, I don't think they have the Apple App Store for Android, so you have to be in the Apple ecosystem to utilize these things. They said this is coming fall 2019, no price.